What is going on out there, peeps? All right, so I just wanted to kind of give you guys. You see the picture in the background? That is a picture of them counting out my money after I exchanged my dinars. Just take a look at it. I just want you to see. They're going to like this. Pimpy, here's another rack. Another rack, Pimpy. Yep. Each one's representing $10,000. Now I'm like, keep it coming because I don't trust a bank. Just stack my monies for me, would you? There you go. $10,000 a rack. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 150,000 altogether. It looks like a lot, but it's only 150,000. Trust me, the amount of dinar that I have, them fools are going to have to keep on stacking. But the point is, I'm going to take it and buy a lot of gold and silver. But anyways, I just thought you guys might get a kick out of them guys counting out my money after the RV. What do you think? Looks sexy? You know that's what you'll be doing. You'll be like, keep it coming. Nope. Come on, boo-boo, do you. Keep it coming. Look, there's just a couple updates. But before we get into it, and you can see the pictures right there, but before we get into it, a quick reminder, we have Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as my YouTube channel. We talk about the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnam Dong, Jisera, Nisera, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. I will leave a link in the description. It is free to come and join. We also have a second group called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. In here, we do talk about current events as well as things that you might consider conspiracy. 9/11, false flag events, chemtrails, vaccinations, you name it. Come check it out. The link will be in the description, and it is free to come and join us. Here we go. By the numbers, Parliamentary Finance reveals borrowing list and gives Iraqi Dinar 60 days to fix. Well, that's awfully nice of you, it seems like. The Parliamentary Millions Committee reveals on Saturday that it has submitted 3 lists related to the internal and external borrowing. Well, it announced that it would grant 60 days to the Prime Minister Iraqi Dinar to present the economic reform project. They need to get the damn budget out there so they can vote on that. That's one of the things that we are looking for. The committee meeting with the Minister of Finance is contingent of a series of meetings on the international external borrowing law and the economic reforms required by us and the government to reach an integrated economic project that is in parallel with the borrowing conditions and is not entirely dependent on it to avoid the future crisis with the consequences. The government has the benefits. I know, I'm sorry, you guys, it's kind of hard when you're reading it and they translate it from Farsis into English, and I'm reading it exactly like it says. I've said that a million times because people are like, damn, dude, you can't read. I'm like, are you reading what I'm reading? You'll see that I'm actually reading it like it says. That's just a translation. I'm reading it exactly like it says. Therefore, the separation of borrowing law from economic reform cannot in any way be accepted, and our acceptance of borrowing came as a result of major crises amid the lack of cash liquidity in the country. You mean the fact that they turned over, and I'm talking about money, turned over a treasury that was empty? Is that what you're talking about? Somebody heads needs to roll. Even if we enter into it directly with the real work, it would take months to show its return on the state's storage. And despite that, we mentioned in a clear text within the borrowing law on the Council of Ministries the presentation of an intricate economic project within 60 days of the date of its vote. So what does that mean? Basically what they're saying is this, because you're going to see some huge numbers, and I'm going to prove to you why it is they need to change the rate. Basically what they're saying is this. Look, you're going to have to justify the fact that we need to borrow money. Well, how about the fact that your freaking treasury was handed over to Iraqi Dinar with only 300 million. It didn't say dinars. We know it ain't US dollars. How? Some of you guys out there got down there 300 million dinars yourself. The committee went towards giving the government half of the borrowing amount and a stipulation that if it's committed to presenting the economic reform project within 2 months, we will complete it for the second half Well, we're already getting ready to go in the second half. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. The economic reform project within 2 months. We will complete it in the second half. The expected spending volume. Listen to this because these are some crazy numbers. And it exactly proves our point why they need to change the rate. So let's do this. The expected spending volume during the next 7 months is 59 trillion dinars. We showed you guys on the Bank of Iraq has only issued about 56 trillion. So 59 trillion dinars, what they're looking for, including 2 trillion and 100 million dinars for investment projects and 57 trillion dinars for operating expenses, which includes salary, the ration cards, the social protection network, medicines, health supplies, wheat, alum, electricity, gas, and the cost of producing local gas and oil. We're not done yet, kids. Get ready because we got some bigger numbers. He pointed out preparing 3 lists of the state's needs according to priority, the regular list of which includes 127 trillion. Let me repeat that in case you missed this, which includes 127 trillion, and the second list includes 97 trillion dinars. They haven't even made that many yet. They're talking about producing more than twice the amount of dinars that's already been printed. That's what they're talking about, and we're not even done. Then we prepared a priority list of priorities that include 659 trillion dinars. $659 trillion dinars. They've printed 59 trillion so far. They're talking about 12 times the amount that they already have in circulation. And all the state's oil and non-oil revenues for the coming months are 17 trillion dinars, noting that the current deficit in the state's budget is estimated to be 43 trillion dinars, 3 trillion dinars of which an eternal debt can be deferred and 3 trillion that can be managed from the movement of banks. As we have an increase in the payments in arrearments, if we return it, only 30 trillion dinars will be a real deficit in the budget, and therefore, the continuation of external borrowing will be according to conditions. What the hell are you talking about? Change the freaking rates. There's only about 55 trillion dinars that has been issued by the Central Bank of Iraq. We showed you guys. We went to the CBI website. It says the amount of dinars that has been issued. These guys are talking about 650 trillion dinars. 12 times the existing amount. 12 times the existing amount. If you take the current amount of dinar that's out there, let's just think about this, if I may. Let's say there's 55 trillion. And we go ahead and we change the rate to 322, which is the reinstatement rate. You're only at 177 trillion in value. That's US dollars, by the way. I don't know who came up with these numbers, but it's not going to happen. Even if you devalued the current dinar value, trying to reach 659 trillion dinars, there would be absolutely zero faith in the dinar currency, period. Period. People will never, ever, 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 ever. Did I say ever? Because if not, ever have faith in the the Iraqi dinar again. That's freaking ridiculous. So anyways, they lay out why they need the money they do. I think it could be helped with the change in the value of the exchange. It makes sense. We talked about this. Iraq has nothing to offer when it comes to import exports. Although I do think the rate of between $1.13 and $1.34 makes sense. That's if Iraq was able to compete on an international market. But it can't. And I told you a friend of mine who is a true economist, teaches at Stanford, called me up and goes, I've been thinking about what you were saying. I said, yeah? He says, I can see a scenario in which they would increase it or reinstate it back to its rate. And I go, why is that? He goes, because they have nothing. You would reinstate it back to the 322, giving them more purchasing power. Then they would import into the country all the materials that they would need to finish reconstruction and rebuilding Iraq. About 2.5 months later, after I made that video and I told everybody that, an economist from Iraq wrote an article saying the same damn thing. Saying it'd be one thing to lower the value of the dinar if there was some way that Iraq was competing import exports, but they don't. Therefore, increase and reinstate the rate so that Iraq can buy the things that it needs to rebuild its country. This article is long. As usual, I will leave a link so you guys can come and see it for yourself. The second article, Barzani visits to Baghdad, is a great transition in the nature of relations between Baghdad and Erbil. Obviously, that's not Barzani, but nonetheless, this is another one of those large articles. As you can see, it goes on and on for days. This is a very, very detailed report on what it is that Kazakhstan and Kurdistan and Iraq. These are the things they are trying to iron out. It's a very long list, and they seem to be very, very close to having these things ironed out. In addition, Kurdistan is talking with Iraq about what they need to do to keep Iran and Turkey from coming over into Iraq and invading the Iraqi sovereignty, which they're not quite a sovereign nation yet, but the fact that they are crossing the border lines to go after people that they think are their enemies is not okay. Now keep in mind, Turkey is a nuclear power, but they're also very good friends with Trump. The UN is wanting Kurdistan and Iraq to iron out the differences and to work together. It's kind of hard to do when you got somebody standing behind you slapping you in the back of the head. Do you get where I'm coming from? Alright, anyways, this article is here for you guys coming here because this is really good. You should come and read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It takes 10 years and it's very repetitive. It does talk about all the things we talk about. The agreement, the oil shipments, the salary agreements, the fact that they want these things in alignment with their constitutions. They want to make sure that they secure, making sure that Al-Qademi is secure and that his government has a strong foothold and they're protected. Making sure that Iraq does what it needs to do to regain its sovereignty. These are things that we talked about before. But this article here, I don't know what the hell these people are thinking. This is ridiculous. There's only about 56 trillion dinars in circulation now. I'm hoping this is a type O, but I doubt it because if you look over here, it continues. All right, anyways, I just wanted to share this with you. It doesn't mean anything as far as the dinar is concerned. It just means that they're talking really crazy. They're talking loco. All right. And I'm not sure where they're going with this, but in my opinion, it looks more like they're trying to make a case for why the rate change needs to happen. That's how I view this. All right. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just saying, in my opinion, they seem to be making a case more for why the rate change needs to happen. More importantly, they didn't make the rate change happen so I can stack my money like this. Anyways, you guys, that's it for now. Al-Qademi is the big dog and he's making it happen. But I wouldn't trip. We'll see where all this goes. What I'm seeing here, it seems like, in my opinion, is more of a reason why the rate change needs to happen more than ever before. All right? Hit the like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe because it surely does help out the channel, and I sure how appreciate it. I'll catch you later.